You know, when you want to lose weight, you say you want to lose weight, you keep thinking about losing weight, you're stressing about losing weight, but you're not actually losing weight and you're not actually doing what you need to do to drop the extra weight. Now, don't worry, you're not alone. There are millions out there stuck with you right now. And I have been stuck myself, so I understand. But eventually, you gotta do something to get the results that you want to get, right? Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 331, and the topic is the critical zone, the first 3 days of eating clean. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, weight loss mindset expert, and founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that you gotta do if you want to stop struggling, stop putting it off, stop doubting yourself, stop telling yourself that tomorrow is the day that you'll finally change. Actually solve the issue that is right between your ears, and that's your mindset. Did you know that your mindset is 92.8% of what determines whether or not you're going to have a struggle-free time releasing the fat and keeping it off? Some like to say losing weight. I actually don't talk about losing weight with my coaching clients because have you ever lost anything that you didn't go looking for again? I bet you haven't. So anyway, your mindset is 92.8% of what is going to determine whether or not you're going to have a struggle-free time, living a healthy lifestyle, dropping the fat and keeping it off, or your mindset is going to keep you in the struggle forever, keep you stuck in the binge eating, stuck in the emotional eating, stuck in Tomorrowland, where you're constantly telling yourself tomorrow will finally be the day. And today is the day that we're talking about the critical zone, which is the first 3 days of eating clean. And if you have been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show since I launched this podcast the first Thursday of January in 2013, if you've been listening all this time, you've heard me mention many times how critical it is that you get through those first 3 days of eating clean. And I've also talked about the fact that it really only takes 3 days to clean out the majority of the chemical side of the addiction when it comes to your addiction to the desserts, the ice cream, the sugar, the frozen dinners, the bags of potato chips or popcorn or Doritos or whatever it is that you are stuck on, the bagels, the pudding. I mean, it can go on forever. The pasta, although I do eat pasta, and you actually can be very, very successful getting to your healthiest weight and maintaining it by eating pasta. But it's got to be the right kind of pasta, and you've got to use portion control. There's, a few things that go into it. Anyway, if you have heard me talking about this subject of the first 3 days of eating clean, and if you can just get through those first 3 days, then the physical side of the equation will be so much easier. I also recently mentioned on episode 330, and I think I might have talked about this on episode 329 also, that I was going to do a series of podcasts starting today with this one, actually, episode 331 through episode 339. And I'm going to be talking about this subject of eating clean and my experience with it. And maybe this series of these few episodes back to back, maybe this can help you to get into eating clean again and actually make progress with getting the weight off and keeping it off. Before we go any further, I do have a free download for you, which you can grab right now at www.grabmygrocerylist.com. That's grabmygrocerylist.com. And what you'll get there in that free download is a list of the whole healthy foods that I eat on a regular basis. It's literally my basic bottom line grocery list. These are foods that I buy regularly almost every time that I go to the grocery store. I don't even really need a list for them anymore because I bought them so many times. And these are staples that I use in clean eating recipes, and they're just, what I buy and what I eat. So if you want to get that list, and also if you're not completely sure what I mean by eating clean, maybe when you see my list it will make more sense. You can get that now at www.grabmygrocerylist.com. In case you're not sure what I mean by eating clean is all about eating whole, healthy foods. That means that you have to cook. You've got to use recipes unless you're a master chef and you can put your own recipes together. That's not me. I need to follow a recipe, that's for sure. But eating clean is the opposite of the middle of the grocery store. All right? Most of the grocery store contains processed food. Processed food will make you fat, and it will keep you fat, and it will keep you addicted to the taste, to the chemicals in the food. I mean, it's very, very, very addictive, and you can really get caught up in it. I've been caught up in it before, and hey, the processed food manufacturers are happy that you're caught up in it because you keep buying more and more and more and more and more of it and eating more and more and more and more of it. And have you ever noticed that you don't emotionally eat and you don't binge eat on whole, healthy foods? Do you? When's the last time that you binged on a bag of regular plain carrots? Nothing added, no kind of dressing or dipping sauce or anything like that. Just plain carrots. When's the last time you binged on plain carrots? I bet you haven't, have you? Or what about grilled chicken breast with nothing added? No sugar, no dressings that contain sugar. Have you recently read the ingredients of the processed foods that you buy? Have you noticed the ingredients, not the nutrition panel, but the ingredients? Have you noticed how much sugar and salt are in those foods that you have been eating? So what I'm getting at here is that in my experience, and I bet it's your experience too, the regular clean eating, whole, healthy foods are not the type of foods that you binge on, and you don't go to those foods to emotionally eat them. So what if you were to eat clean as a lifestyle? What if that could take care of a good percentage of your binge eating and or emotional eating behaviors, because you wouldn't have the chemicals to trigger more eating and drive you to want more and more and more of those types of foods that you binge on. Just a thought. Maybe, possibly, there could be something to it. I'm being sarcastic. Of course, there's something to it. And at the same time, it can be impossible to make the change when your mindset is not in the right place. This is why you need a weight loss mindset. Mindset is 92.8% of it. Now, today, and in most of this series here, we're not going to really be talking about mindset. We're talking about the physical side of the equation only. The physical side of the equation is 7.2% of the project of getting to your goal weight and staying there. 92.8% of it is your mindset. So, this topic of the critical zone of the first 3 days of eating clean, you can get through the first 3 days of eating clean without a weight loss mindset. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it possible that you won't get through the full 3 days? Yes. Is it possible that you won't get through the first day? Yes. And it's because it can be so difficult to do this if you don't have your head in the right place. But at the same time, you can force yourself. And if you don't have a weight loss mindset, that's really all you can do is force yourself. You have to make the decision to stop eating processed foods. You have to make the decision and follow through with the action to cook your meals in advance, to portion out what you're going to eat, to have everything prepared in advance so there are no excuses. You have to make the decision that you're not going to veer off of your decision. You're not going to go back on your word to yourself that this is it, that you are eating clean, you're living a healthy lifestyle, you're getting to your goal weight, and you're staying there. And the easiest way to get the weight off and keep it off is by doing it from the inside out. That's the work that I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. And then when you have that mindset in place, you're naturally inspired, which means that you don't have to force yourself. You're not struggling. You're not fighting it. You're not sabotaging yourself. You're naturally inspired to make the changes to your eating, to what you eat, to how you eat, to how often you eat. You're inspired to make those changes from within. You want to do it. You're excited to do it. You're happy to do it. It's no big deal. And still, even when you have a weight loss mindset, you still need to get through these first 3 days of eating clean to get over that hump, that place where physically your body is in this rut or in this routine of eating the highly sugared, highly salted, highly processed foods that you're used to eating. So it's definitely a change to do something different. And when you can just get through these first 3 days of total and complete clean eating, which means you're not eating any processed foods. After that third day, each day after that, it becomes easier and easier and easier physically to keep it going. You'll actually find that your taste buds change. If you are eating food that you like, you can end up really, really loving just living a healthy lifestyle and eating clean. At least that's my experience. But when you are in that place where you've been eating only processed foods, then it will be tough those first 3 days. One thing that I've done with myself before is oftentimes I found that at night, that was the worst time for when I'd start playing the mind games on myself and telling myself, oh, well, maybe I'll just start over again tomorrow and just have whatever to eat right now. one thing that I would do, and I'll still do this if this ever comes up. It normally doesn't after you get going with this, after you have been eating clean for such a long time. And especially when you have the right mindset, this doesn't usually come up. But if it ever does, I'll still use this with myself. What I'll do is I'll make a deal with myself that I'm not going to have whatever it is that I might be thinking about at night. And I make the deal with myself that in the morning, if I still want whatever it was that I was thinking about the night before, then I'll have it in the morning. And what I've always found is that I don't want it in the morning. Whether that was, it could have been anything. I could go through a huge list of fast food, desserts, cheese, bags of cheese or whatever, anything that I might have been thinking about at night. When I have made the deal with myself that I'm not going to have it at night, I'm going to get through this day, stick with my clean eating routine, and in the morning, if I still want it, okay, I'll have it. So far, I've never actually wanted it in the morning, so that works for me. The whole point of what we're talking about here today is that once you can get past those first 3 days of fully eating clean, on the 4th day, the 5th day, the 6th day, the 7th day, and on, it just becomes easier and easier and easier and easier, especially after the first 2 weeks. Then it is much, much easier on the physical side. Now, of course, again, like I've said so many times, when you have a weight loss mindset as the foundation of all of this, then you're guaranteeing your own success. And that doesn't mean that you're always, always, always in a good mood. It doesn't mean that you're always, always positive and up and happy and nothing is bothering you and life is perfect. It means that you know how to turn your attitude and turn your mindset and turn your thoughts around if they do start to go in a negative direction, so that you don't go back to that place where you're feeling all droopy drawers and then you just want to go eat food to try to feel better, because that is your normal way of living. Do you know what I mean? You really, really, really can get to your goal weight and stay there if you have the complete holistic process going for you. If you have all sides of the equation in line, you really, really can do it. Your mindset, how you feel, how you think, your attitude, your beliefs, that's 92.8% of it. Just imagine if you're walking around most of the time telling yourself, believing, thinking that it's too hard to lose weight, other people can do it but not you. How does that make you feel emotionally? It doesn't make you feel excited about it, right? It doesn't make you feel hopeful. It doesn't make you feel empowered. It doesn't make you feel like you could ever do it. So then why would you even take action to get to your healthiest weight and stay there? You wouldn't. Why would you? If you're constantly telling yourself that you're a loser, that you're disgusting, that you're a fat slob, that you can't control yourself, how does that make you feel? What do you end up doing as a result? How do you end up eating as a result? So again, what's between your ears is 92.8% of what's going to determine whether you are a long-term success or whether or not you're going to continue to struggle long-term with your eating and your weight. If you can get your head in the right place and you've got the tools to keep it there, you're golden. You still need to and will have to change your eating habits and change your lifestyle. And what I found for myself is the fastest and the easiest and the smoothest way to get the extra weight off is through eating clean. You get off of the processed foods, you eat clean, whole, healthy foods, you prep your meals in advance, you cook in advance. You do everything possible to stack the deck in your favor on the physical side and also on the mental and the emotional side. And then getting that weight off is honestly and truly, it's no big deal. And you still got to get through those first 3 days of eating clean to get through that critical zone, because you do have a human body, and the chemicals in the processed food, it is addictive. It is. It's just how it is. Have you ever seen the studies that have been done on the brain to show how the brain reacts to refined sugar compared to how the brain reacts to cocaine? It lights up the same in both cases. You can look it up online. It's just simple chemical reactions in the body. You can't make this shit up. It's how it works. So I've always said, and it's true, I've never done any drugs. I don't do drugs, except sugar, caffeine, and alcohol. Those are the drugs I've done. Sugar is absolutely a drug. Absolutely. It's legal, and so it's really easy to stay in that addiction. It really is. Once you get through the first 3 days of eating clean, however, you clean most of that out of your system. By the way, drinking clean, clear water is a really important part of this also. I drink 100 ounces a day. That's plain water, nothing added, just regular water. Remember, if you want to grab my grocery list, if you want to see the regular foods that I buy on a regular basis, they're just basic, whole, healthy foods that I use in recipes, go over to www.grabmygrocerylist.com. Grabmygrocerylist.com. You can get my list of the regular, whole, healthy foods that I buy almost every time that I go to the grocery store. They're pretty simple, just basic stuff that might sound kind of boring, but it's not boring when you cook clean eating recipes with herbs and spices, things like cumin, oregano, thyme, rosemary, whatever the recipe calls for, all right? I enjoy the food that I eat. I don't eat any food that I don't like. I'm not forcing myself to eat quote-unquote diet food. I really like what I eat. I do have to cook. That's part of it. It's worth it. Get yourself through the first 3 days of eating clean, and you will be over the hump of the chemical pull that the processed food has on you right now. Now, what I'm going to do over the next 3 podcasts is I'm actually going to share with you what those first 3 days are like for me, what they've been like for me. And I have done this without a weight loss mindset. It's not easy, and I always would backslide, but it is possible to force yourself to eat clean. Really, all it comes down to is a decision. You just have to make the decision. That's really all there is to it. You have to want your outcome of getting to your healthiest weight and staying there. You have to want that more than you want to keep eating the processed food that you're addicted to. A lot of people out there, they choose to keep eating the processed foods. They say they want to lose weight, but their actions don't match. And now that can go into the other subject of the internal struggle and the lack of the weight loss mindset. You see, when you have a weight loss mindset, the parts of you that want to lose weight, that right now are struggling with the part of you that wants to just keep eating all the processed food that you're addicted to, they'll all be on the same team. That's why there's no struggle anymore to live a healthy lifestyle once you have a weight loss mindset. All struggle is within you right now, and it can be healed. It can be taken care of. And then you still definitely will have to cook. You'll have to do the things that you need to do to live a healthy lifestyle, but it won't be a struggle. You won't be fighting yourself to do it, and you won't be sabotaging yourself. If you would love to have my help to get a weight loss mindset and get to the place where it's struggle-free for you to do what you need to do to lose weight and keep it off, where it's struggle-free for you to eat clean, to cook, to get it done, then go over to www.discovery-session.com. That's www.discovery-session.com. Fill out an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me, and let's see if we might be able to get on the phone and find out if or how I might be able to help you personally to get to your healthiest weight and stay there by getting a weight loss mindset. Apply now at www.discovery-session.com. This is for you if you are serious about doing the inner work to get your head, your heart, your emotional state where you are inspired to do the physical actions you need to do to get the weight off and keep it off, where you're no longer struggling to do it. Some could call it weight loss motivation. That's a pretty simple term, but you don't need weight loss motivation once you have a weight loss mindset. Once again, if you'd like my help to take care of what is 92.8% of your problem, if you already know what you need to do to lose weight, but you can't get yourself to do it, then head on over to www.discovery-session.com, fill out an application, submit that to my office. You just click a button after you fill it out, and let's go from there. That's an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me over the phone. Join me on episode number 332 of the JoLynn Braley Show, and we'll talk about my experience with day one of eating clean and the struggles and challenges that I had with my head, really, and what I ended up doing so that I could get through those first 3 days of eating clean. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the diet that sets you free. It sets you free of the mind games, the self-sabotage, the self-loathing, all of the things that stand in your way right now of just doing what you know you need to do to get the weight off and keep it off. As always, I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.